Developments in the USA as the Trump administration moves to tighten student visa rules.
Stricter water restrictions for the corporate area as dry period continues.
And the opposition movement growing against deep sea mining. Good evening and welcome to Primetime News. Welcome also to our viewers on TVJ International in the Cayman Islands and online at onespotmedia.com. I'm Dwayne Anderson.
And I'm Janella Precious. And how does it feel now that the World Cup is over? Don't answer that question now, but it's business time, and Andrea Chisholm is here with a preview.
Well, we're not talking about the World Cup in business. We're talking about the Development Bank of Jamaica, who is relaunching its Gemini Plus program. I'll tell you more about that later in the business day.
Can I answer the sports question?
No,
you know what? Let's just go to Reynaldo. Reynaldo is here to tell us about the sports.
Yeah. Well, you can see the band. Well, I can tell you that the West Indies will be hoping to finish their one-day international series against New Zealand on a high after losing the fourth one-day international yesterday. And FIFA investigating the incident following the World Cup final yesterday. We'll have those stories and much more in Primetime Sports.
I suspect World Cup might be in the news for the rest of the week. But anyway, Romain is also here to tell us why it is so hot. Romain?
Yeah, we still have hot, dry conditions persisting, especially across the eastern half of the island. We still have some shower activity forecast for sections of the west. I'll tell you more in the weather report and forecast.
I'm going to still pinch that response. I missed the World Cup already. Now, there's also sports commentary and E-Prime in this newscast. But before the break, the feedback question.
All right, go ahead, Dwayne, go ahead.
And this evening, we're asking, what was your favorite moment of the 2026 FIFA World Cup? Can I answer, Janella?
Can I answer too? I want to say the halftime show yesterday, but but you can keep your comments coming. Facebook.com/Television Jamaica and post on X at TVJ News Center. Can't wait to hear yours, Dwayne.
Please stay with us. The Primetime News package returns right after this break.
Illness, hospital indemnity, and health insurance. Coverage for all. Care for you.
Welcome back to Primetime News.
And a special welcome once again to our viewers on TVJ International in the Cayman Islands and online at onespotmedia.com.
First up this evening, Jamaicans wishing to study in the USA are closely monitoring developments in that country.
Now, this comes as the Trump administration gave final notice of plans to implement stricter rules on foreign students, including preventing them from staying in the U.S. for more than 4 years unless they get permission from the federal government.
Now, the ability to switch programs and transfer between universities and colleges will also be restricted.
Until now, higher education's, well, I'm so sorry, Romardo Lyons has that story.
Fighting rampant visa abuse, strengthening national security through regular vetting. The Department of Homeland Security says that's the aim of the policy, which comes into effect in September 2026. Now, there's currently about 1.5 million international students studying in America, and the Association of International Educators has since described the new rules as misguided and unnecessary. Immigration attorney Xavier Francis.
This is a very significant change to the F1 visa program. For the past nearly 50 years, students could remain in the US for as long as their program existed. Under the new rule, that's going to be replaced with a fixed admission period that's capped at 4 years. So it creates an additional layer of immigration compliance that never existed.
Prior to the change, foreign students of F1 and J1 exchange visas were admitted to the United States on the duration of status. Many Jamaican students go to America yearly, the majority through tertiary scholarships. Those looking to take up such opportunities this academic year, what should they keep in mind?
My advice to students is not to panic, but to stay prepared, right? To track your expiration dates. Because each time you leave and re-enter the US, you're going to have an expiration date on your I-94. Track your expiration dates, track your program end date. If you believe that your studies will take longer than expected, be prepared to apply for an extension. Closely monitor your immigration status, speak with your designated school officials, and seek legal guidance if needed before extending your studies, changing your programs, or even traveling internationally.
The Homeland Security Secretary said, for decades, thousands of foreign students have been abusing its immigration system. It says,
by implementing clear, finite limits on these visas, the United States is reclaiming its ability to properly screen, vet, and monitor individuals within our borders. This final rule ensures that foreign students remain focused on their primary purpose, completing their studies and returning home.
Mr. Francis also warned that with the new policy, there can be hiccups that catch many students off guard and land them in trouble.
Anticipate government processing delays, additional fees, right? So it's really important to stay ahead. And if you do these things, you will be okay.
While most U.S. undergraduate programs are typically 4 years, graduate-level programs such as doctorates typically take longer to complete. Romardo Lyons, TVJ News.
Thanks, Romardo. The National Water Commission, NWC, has imposed the nightly water restrictions for sections of Kingston 20 due to below-average inflows and a prolonged dry spell affecting the corporate area's main water supply. Now, effective today, customers in Washington Gardens, Marvelly, and surrounding communities will receive water on a scheduled basis between 6 p.m. and 6 a.m. until further notice. The NWC says the measure is aimed at maintaining service to the affected areas. The communities are supplied by the Constant Spring Water Treatment Plant, which relies mainly on the Hermitage Dam and the Rio Cobre system. Now, the Hermitage Dam is now operating at just 54.6% of its storage capacity.
All eyes are on Kingston, Jamaica, as member states from across the world meet to discuss rules for deep-sea mining. But opposition is growing to the plans as indigenous groups that depend on the seas and oceans to survive continue to increase their numbers. Dwayne Anderson explains.
These are the Maroons of Jamaica and the Maui indigenous peoples of Hawaii. Today, they are sharing gifts with each other. In a few days, they will share the same opinion on a global platform. They have formed a coalition of indigenous peoples to strengthen the opposition to deep-sea mining. Deep-sea mining is the process of extracting critical minerals such as copper and cobalt from the ocean floor. From all indications, this could spell trouble for the world, especially small island developing states and their peoples.
Oftentimes they tell you the story that you're going to make a lot of money and we're just picking up these rocks from the bottom of the ocean that have minerals in them. But the reality is those are the foundation of all of life. And so these rocks at the bottom of the sea are super important for all the marine life and everything that lives off of it. And half of our oxygen comes from these healthy ecosystems in the ocean. So I think once we learn the full story, many of us understand it doesn't make any sense to do that.
Which is why the Maui and the Maroons are going to join stakeholders in speaking out at the International Seabed Authority ISA Assembly to be held at its downtown headquarters in Kingston. The views of indigenous peoples are usually respected on environmental matters such as these, since their way of life, such as fishing, is potentially at risk.
There's an immense amount of tension currently at the International Seabed Authority, and that's why it's such an important meeting this year. And that's why we think it's very important to bring in not only international indigenous voices, but also local indigenous voices to the table.
It's about saving humanity. It is about saving the environment, saving planet Earth from persons whose mindset is just enriching themselves, no matter whatever the cost is.
But time is running out. 2025 was the last timeline to draft regulations to guide the states or companies that would do the mining. That date was missed.
On the multilateral space, the International Seabed Authority is currently stalling. There are more and more nations calling for a moratorium. France has called for a ban. Others call for a precautionary pause, and some want to go mine. Then there's also different interests there, no? So land-based mining nations that have strong land-based minerals, right? They're not interested in deep-sea mining, so they want to block it, right? So there are all of these different interests going on.
But 2026 is proving another tough year for those opposed to this commercial enterprise, because the USA is pro-deep-sea mining. President Donald Trump is keen to gain advantage over Russia, China, and other geopolitical rivals.
The Trump administration, now they are not participating anyway, right? They don't like multilateralism because they have to talk to too many people and get agreement with too many people, so they would rather go ahead and do it themselves. So, as they have never signed the United Nations Conventions of the Law of the Sea, they can do more or less whatever they want to do.
Now, still to come in this newscast, the stakeholders in St. Ann give Reggae Sumfest a passing grade. And in business news, TVJ pushing to help more small businesses access financing and investment. We'll be right back.
Welcome back and continuing the news. The National Solid Waste Management Authority, NSWMA, says it will continue round-the-clock operations until the fire at the Marsville disposal facility in St. Elizabeth is fully contained. The commitment comes even as residents near the facility remain on edge as heavy smoke from the lingering fire continues to affect nearby communities. Sandy Williams explains.
A towering plume of smoke drifting across communities, forcing residents to shut windows, doors, and cover faces. The fire, first detected on Friday, quickly escalated into what officials are now calling a difficult and dangerous operation.
On Friday afternoon, that's the 17th, we got a call. Naturally, we do have fire protocols here. So once a fire is detected, however minute the fire may be, a call has to be placed through the landfill supervisor, landfill manager, to the landfill director.
The fire department was notified immediately, but what seemed routine quickly turned into a crisis.
This one, though, proved extremely difficult because of the wind velocity. The wind was so strong that even the fire brigade personnel had to retreat.
With visibility near zero and thick smoke choking the air, firefighters made the call to stand down, putting safety first.
It would be dangerous for the men to go in and then be trapped in that smoke where they can't see anything. The visibility is just not conducive to their safety. We watched it on Saturday, nothing changed in terms of the wind, nothing changed on Sunday. It was only today that we were able to get in and begin.
For residents nearby, the delay has come at a cost. Complaints mounting over the persistent smoke, concerns growing about health impacts, and frustration building as the fire continued to burn through the weekend.
We are moving cover material on, and we are trying to get the covering going towards the fire so that as we prepare the area and as we move closer to the actual fire itself, then the fire truck will then come in and the brigade will start their work. We are going to be working around the clock to ensure that we wrap this up within another 48 hours, 72 hours.
The agency is now appealing for patience as the smoke continues to linger. Sandy Williams, TVJ News.
To a primetime news follow-up now, 43-year-old Damian Walters, who was critically injured in the May 27 fire at a facility in Kingston, has died. He's among 3 men who received third-degree burns following an explosion at a garage adjacent to the beryllium compound on South Camp Road. A 4th victim died shortly after the incident, while the other 3 were airlifted to the United States for treatment. Mr. Walters, who was a serviceman employed to the Guardsman Group of Companies, succumbed to his injuries on Monday while undergoing treatment at the Burn Center in Augusta, Georgia.
As demands heighten for assessments for at-risk students, the Sam Sharp Diagnostic and Early Intervention Center in Granville in St. James has announced expansion plans. Our reporter Kimberly Petty explains.
Jamaica has been heavily criticized for failing to meet the educational demands of children with special needs. A growing number of them go unassessed as they are placed on a waiting list. This has resulted in delays in enrollment for some children who are forced to stay home. Sam Sharp Teachers College is one of 4 teachers' colleges in Jamaica that has a diagnostic center. Principal Ricardo Bennett is reporting that there has been a growing need for early assessments.
What we're seeing over time is that there is a demand for students to be assessed. Sam Sharp Teachers College offers assessment free of cost, something that we can boast right there in Western Jamaica.
To meet the demand, the institution will be making key changes.
In recent times, based on a thrust from the Ministry of Education, we will now be expanding our center. The number of staff members will now we'll have 2 clinical psychologists, 2 diagnosticians.
Currently, he says 30 assessments are done monthly.
So we will be increasing the number of assessments. As a matter of fact, we were doing 30 assessments per month. We will now be moving to 60 assessments per month. So it's a critical need in Jamaica. A number of our children enter the system while some are in school undiagnosed.
The Some Sharp Diagnostic and Early Intervention Center has been operational since 2018. Kimberly Petty, TVJ News.
After months of debate about Reggae Sumfest's move from Montego Bay to St. Anne for the 2026 staging, the event appears to have passed the test. Thousands of patrons turned out over the weekend, putting everything from traffic management to the parish's ability to host an event of that scale under the spotlight. We have the details in this report.
For months, one question dominated the lead-up to the 2026 staging of Reggae Sumfest. Could the festival successfully make the transition from Montego Bay to St. Anne? On Saturday, thousands streamed into Plantation Cove, putting months of planning to the test.
Well, I feel like it's more space. The vibe is still the same, still energetic, still what we expect of Reggae Sumfest. Yes, this is my first Sumfest, and I will definitely be back, period.
However, the relocation did not come without challenges. Traffic remained one of the biggest concerns heading into the event. There were long lines leading to the venue, particularly at peak arrival and departure times, but unlike the gridlock some feared, traffic continued to move with the help of the police, shuttle services, and designated parking areas.
It's first time in this park, and you get a taste of Sumfest. I think it tastes pretty good.
But beyond the music, attention is now turning to the festival's impact on St. Anne's economy. The government says the event demonstrates the earning potential of Jamaica's entertainment industry when properly supported.
And the benefits will ricochet throughout the Jamaican economy. There's no doubt in my mind that this show could bring in at least 15 to 20 million US dollars in benefits to the Jamaican economy, which will filter down to many of the micro and small enterprises, including, of course, the taximen, all the ground transportation operators, the Airbnb operators have been doing excellent business.
The 2026 staging also tested the confidence of corporate Jamaica. Despite the festival leaving Montego Bay, sponsors like Red Stripe remained on board.
Anywhere there's Jamaican culture, Jamaican music, Jamaican people, Red Stripe wants to be there. I think our track record speaks for itself. We've been in Jamaica. In 2028, we're going to celebrate 100 years of Red Stripe beer. The company actually already celebrated 100 years. So we have built a legacy on really supporting Jamaican culture. Of course, Jamaican music. We're also big in Jamaican sport. But for music, culture, both locals and diaspora, we're going to be here.
For sponsors like the Airports Authority of Jamaica, the partnership was critical.
We had to be here to partner with Sumfest because we knew that we had an audience that needed to know about the incredible services that we offer. So we're so excited to be here because we have increased our awareness. We've been able to tell more Jamaican people that we're working hard to make aviation access easier for them.
For her part, Culture Minister Olivia Grange says Reggae Sumfest continues to showcase Jamaican music while reinforcing the country's position as the home of entertainment.
Once you're able to do these events and make them successful, everybody benefits. And I really want to see Jamaica become that location for festivals, locally produced festivals and international festivals.
While there are still lessons to be learned, the organizers have by most accounts passed their test in St. Anne. The question now is what's next when the event returns to Montego Bay.
And we take another break, but please stay with us because there's more local stories when we return. Welcome back. For many children, summer is a break from school, but in one St. Catherine community, it's a time of learning, hope, and opportunity through a summer program changing young lives. Yannick Williams has this story.
Ray of Hope, brought to you by
Quartz has what you need to make home yours. Easy payment plans using Quartz Ready Finance. Quartz, make home yours.
Fast asleep in a corner of the classroom. For this little girl, this isn't just a nap. It's the comfort of knowing she's safe. Hidden behind the walls of Born Again Mystic Deliverance Ministry in Central Village, St. Catherine, is a summer school that has been changing lives for more than a decade. At the heart of it is Crystal Smith. Once a resident in the community, she now returns from overseas each summer, where she works as a teacher to give back to the community that helped shape her future.
There were a group of young people, about say 15, 16 of them, and they were in choir rehearsal as young as 6 years old straight up to about 13, 14, some in high school. And they were in choir rehearsal. I saw them and I felt really moved to just be a part of their lives. And I said to the leader of this church, Chief Apostle Suzette Green, may I have them to mentor them, to guide them? And she said, yes, you may.
In a community often faced with social and economic challenges, the program offers more than academics. It provides children with guidance and life lessons beyond the classroom.
So in 2015, I had the idea that why not do something for this community and not just for the children here. I went ahead and I started a summer school program. We asked for students, children, any age group. I asked for them to come and be a part of it.
Her journey has inspired others with several of the programs. Former students have now returned not as pupils, but as volunteers and mentors.
Auntie Crystal is a very sociable person. She's very passionate about teaching and just being with kids overall. She had the initiative from 2014. I myself have been a part of this program throughout high school. I've completed my studies at the Michael University College, and now I'm here, to give back to the community. And because of that, I'm feeling very proud.
Together, they help teach the children who now walk the same path they once did, creating a cycle of learning, leadership, and giving back.
I think it will help them by, being, active, keeping them busy, because, not being engaged in many activities can, help them to, stray a bit and, develop into gangs and stuff like that.
It was very good. It was something new, so it was something to embrace because, going to school, I've never participated in summer school until Auntie Crystal, came up with the initiative and we started with her.
She hopes to one day build her own school, saying her true legacy is seen in the lives she's helped shape and the community she continues to inspire.
I just want the world, Jamaica, to know that we're doing something real good here, and students here, parents see the changes in how they behave, in their academics, and we're grateful that we have teachers who were part of the program years ago who are also continuing this.
With your Ray of Hope, I'm Yannick Williams.
Ray of Hope, brought to you by
Quartz has what you need to make home yours. Easy payment plans using Quartz Ready Finance. Quartz, make home yours.
Time now for responses to our feedback question, and this evening we've been asking, what was your favorite moment of the 2026 FIFA World Cup? Our first comment comes from Audley, who says, definitely Cape Verde's Cinderella run, particularly with Sydney Lopez Cabral's stunning, I hope I got that pronunciation correct, stunning strike against Argentina and their heroic qualification to the knockout stage. I got it right, Bojo? Yeah, I did? Okay, great. The next one is from T Moving Forward, who says, Spain, Curry the GOAT. Oh, Lord, that's harsh. We have one from Roxanne who says Cape Verde's Ron Ulises, did I get it right? Correct? Ulises, 7 assists, Spain crowned champions and Argentina's lost. Why are so many people happy that
Have access to affordable life, critical illness, hospital indemnity, and health insurance. Coverage for all. Care for you.
Employers, your hard contribution builds a stronger workforce and strengthens the economy. It's not just contribution, it's transformation. The time by heart is...
Courts presents their 2026 All Range event. Be inspired at all Court stores nationwide. Come see what's new in everyday furniture and appliances. Up to $43,000 off major appliances. Up to 30% off furniture. Smart TVs starting at just $24,999. Be inspired at the Courts 2026 All Range event. Affordable convenience for your home. Only at Courts. Bringing value home. Offer ends July 31st.
We launched it for a window period. There were some challenges with how it was rolled out. I think what happened is that we relied heavily on too few people to help to execute the program, so we funded it, they executed it, and what we recognize is that at the end of the evaluation period, there are some big changes we have to do. So we have now revamped it and added a lot more value to it.
The revamped program will provide entrepreneurs with capacity building support, including assistance to formalize businesses and strengthen governance.
So we have a whole ecosystem of support. It's funded. There are several people who will be part of entrepreneurship for incubators. That means that if you're pre-revenue, you now get formalized into the system. The second part is if you're already in the system but you're in the nascent stage of your development, you can now get capacity building, which means that if an entrepreneur wants to get capital support from an investor, they now have something formal to present. If they want to go to a bank for a small loan, they can do so. And even for grant funding, they can now do so.
TVJ says the redesigned initiative will feature a simpler application process and a broader network of incubators and business support organizations to improve delivery.
Before it was very complicated, to be frank. There's a long evaluation process. Now it's more efficient and much more focused on outcomes. And we are aiming in the first year to target a number of people across different sectors. So we don't want a bias where it's only somebody who's in agriculture. Creatives need to get access to funding. People who have the ability to not get regular access to capital through a bank, we want to make a bridge for that.
The relaunch also complements recent initiatives aimed at improving access to capital for MSMEs, including the Jamaica Stock Exchange micro-market. Deidre Thomas, TVJ News.
Tour operators are pushing back against the proposed toll rate, which was published last week. And that's the proposed toll rate hike, which was published last week. As Kirkwright reports, some fear that, coupled with increased prices at the fuel pumps, many could go out of business.
Transport operators from the Jamaica Union of Travelers Association, JUTA, and the Jamaica Cooperative Automotive and Limousine Tours, JCAL, along with Maxi Tours, are pushing back at the proposed increased toll rate. Noel Williams of the Kingston chapter of JUTA says, combined, the operators number in the thousands, many of whom operate the coaster buses. Under the proposed rates, coaster bus operators traveling to and from Ocho Rios will pay $15,660.
If we charge $70,000 from Kingston to Ocho Rios for a coaster bus, and we have to pay $15,600 for the toll, you're going to pay $15,000 for purchasing of gas to go to Ocho Rios. You're going to pay your driver $15,000. How does that work, or how does that benefit us?
The latest Toyota Hiace buses are also classified as Class 3, so operators pay the same as the coasters. The president called for reprieve, a sentiment echoed by Edgerton Newman, president of the Transport Operators Development Sustainable Services.
But what I personally is asking for is for the toll operators to give us a break from the toll at this time. At least a year, we're asking to give us a break. I'm not sure how they will want to go about doing that, if there's a way that they could exempt the PPV vehicles.
I join the presidents in calling for a holdback at least for 1 year of the present increase. And you know what hurts me? Is that they give us 5 days to respond after making the notice. 5 days. I think the 5 days up today.
Yeah, that's today.
Right. Now, what are you trying to do? Are you saying that the public transport sector are guys who just waste time and buy a car and put it on the road and do something?
TOTS President Egerton Newman says his members are also feeling it and asked that the contract be looked at.
The fact that we are here this morning is a testament to the fact that we cannot continue any longer. I don't care who signed or wrote the contract for this arrangement. It has to be changed. I know when God created the tablet of the 10 Commandments and put it on a tablet, I'm sure that Moses thought of making some changes before it was placed. And I'm saying that government needs to go back to the drawing board. I don't want to hear about on PMP on JLP situation. The transport sector is in a quandary. We are in an explosion mood.
JCAL's president, Adrian Muirhead, proposed a workaround if the government is unable to renegotiate the contract with the toll operators.
At least, Mr. Government, please rehabilitate those off-road for us to have a smoother drive, that we have a choice, because at present now we don't have a choice. It's like we are being forced to use the toll at this exorbitant rate.
Maxi Tour's president says help is needed, especially since the operators are already competing with other players in the industry, many with smaller vehicles.
We need protections from other entities coming into the island to forcing our costs down while our operational costs is going up. We have gas increase, we have maintenance increase, we have lights increase, we have everything increase. I know you put in toll. This cannot be justified, gentlemen.
Kirk Wright, TVJ News.
To the stock market now, the JSE index advanced by 388 points today, while the junior market index advanced by 35 points. The winners include Image Plus Consultants, Elite Diagnostic, Trans-Jamaican Highway, Cargo Handlers, and R.A. Williams Distributors. The losers include Margaritaville Turks, Elite Diagnostic, Cargo Handlers, R.A. Williams Distributors, and Caribbean Flavors and Fragrances. 19 stocks traded firm. At the end of foreign exchange trading today, banks and cambios were selling the US dollar for an average $159.48. The Canadian dollar is being sold for $114.50. The pound is going for $216.42, while the euro is selling for an average $182.64. And that's it for the Business Day. I'm Andrea Chisholm. Good evening.
The Business Day on Mondays, brought to you by
a plan that provides for their educational dreams and protects their health and life. Give them every advantage.
Welcome back, and it's time now for some international news, and it's actually regional because Guyana's government says 10 bodies have been recovered from a ferry that capsized off the country's coast over the weekend with 133 people on board. Dozens of people are feared dead after the ferry capsized late on Saturday. Now, authorities suggested that inaccurate passenger lists and drug use by the crew might have contributed to the situation. No survivors have been found since Saturday afternoon, when Guyanese authorities announced they had rescued 67 people, including 15 children. The authorities said the captain and other crew members are now in police custody. Officials say air traffic control received a distress call from the ferry around 11 p.m. on Saturday, triggering a search and rescue operation.
So my favorite was England versus Mexico. What was your favorite moment?
You know, now that you've planted a thought in my head, that was actually my favorite moment of the World Cup as well, because I'm an England fan, and that match was the match where I really believed we were going to go to the final and bring it home. Didn't happen.
Come home, and here comes Renato, who's coming home to this desk.
You're going home.
Can I see your band?
He's actually Spain, right?
Oh,
Yes.
so you didn't just buy this yesterday? Or you
No.
didn't just buy this
I have
morning?
evidence.
Oh, you have
Well,
evidence.
I called this World Cup 2 years ago from we won a Euro. So.
Okay, rose eyes, but
Spaniards.
please stay with us. Primetime News returns after this break.